com and from the Facebook group, the Laughing Buddhas Network. So let's talk today about healing the virus of fear, because I understand there's a lot going on out in the world at the moment. And yes, you want to take care of your body first. That is the absolute priority. Eating well and following directions of the various doctors, nutritionists who have been giving out some very good advice. Good morning, Tracy. Welcome. So that is definitely your priority, to take care of the body. So what I want to talk to you about today, I have 3 practices I want to share with you that really help with fear. Because believe me, I used to be completely ruled by fear, so I get it, you know. Yes, it can take you over, and when it takes you over, you start doing things that perhaps are not in the best interest for you or your community. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the mind. This is our first practice. And when you understand the mind and how the mind works, this can help a lot, because fear lives in the mind. It lives up here. Fear, judgment, and greed and comparison live up here in the mind. Love and courage, creativity are down here in the heart. But first of all, let's have a look at understanding how the mind works. So the mind is just a mechanism in your head, yeah? And it can only draw on past experiences. It's actually quite limited on what it knows, because you have knowledge up here, you have wisdom down here, and I'll be talking about wisdom a little bit later. Good morning, Julie. Welcome. So to understand that fear, which lives in the mind, when something happens, the mind only has past experiences to draw upon. That's all it has. What has happened in the past. And the mind does have a tendency to look at the negative. So what it does is it looks at something that might have happened before, or a past experience, and then projects that into the future. And when it doesn't know, the mind does not like to not know. So then it surmises. So then it makes stuff up. Basically, it just makes stuff up about what could happen in the future, and it will focus more on the negative. So what it does is it creates these illusions of what might happen in the future. Fear is like a shadow. You know, when you're walking down the street in the sunshine and you see your shadow? So fear is a shadow. And the fear-based thoughts in your mind are are shadows. They are illusion. They are not real. They are made up by the mind. 99% of our fears are never realized. So just think about that for a moment. 99% of them. When I started to do these practices that I'm sharing with you today, I look back on my life and I saw how much time I had spent worrying about things that never happened. So when you bring attention to this, when you start to witness the mind, which is the practice, a very powerful practice, which was created by Gautama the Buddha 25 centuries ago, witnessing the mind. And the reason it's lasted to this day is because it works. It's very, very powerful. Good morning, Debbie. So You sit and you relax and you watch the thoughts go by. Letting the thoughts pass by. They're only thoughts, they are not real. And as you make a practice of witnessing the thoughts of the mind, you start to disidentify from the mind. You start to become less at the effect of the thoughts of the mind, because you are here, sitting and relaxing, observing. Yes? And over time, you become unaffected by all these fear-based thoughts because you know they're not real. And you learn to stay more in the present moment, which is your only reality. Our only reality is here now. For me, talking to you, and for you, listening to me. This is our only reality. Everything else in the future is maybe, possibly, hopefully, perhaps. But right now is the only reality. And as you make a practice of witnessing the mind, you start to learn the knack of meditation, which is being in the present moment, which is being aware of what the mind is doing and aware of your presence, unaffected by all the fear-based thoughts. So this is a very powerful practice, and a lot of people think you have to concentrate hard or try and force the mind. No. No forcing, no trying, no concentrating. Because all of those create tension. See, like forcing and trying, it creates tension. And you don't want tension. You want relaxation. So it's actually very simple. You sit back and relax and breathe. The breathing helps you stay in the present moment, so be aware of your breathing and simply watch. Now, this is a practice. It's a journey, and you'll find yourself again and again getting caught up in the mind, off into the future or back into the past. That's okay. As soon as you notice, you come back to the present. And then the mind will take you off again. Okay, back to the present. Always with non-judgment and compassion for yourself. This is a very powerful technique to not be at the effect of fear-based thoughts in the mind. And I can tell you, it is much more enjoyable to live life from a place of relaxation and centeredness and calm than all identifying too much with what's going on up here. Yes? So what you are learning to do is take over mastery of yourself so that you and the heart are the master and the mind is the servant of the heart, because that is its rightful place as the servant of the heart, and it knows it. It knows that it should be the servant, but it's just trying to be the master and, puff up the ego and be Mr. Know-it-all. But the mind doesn't know everything. It knows a lot of things, but it doesn't know everything, and it doesn't have wisdom. So now let's talk about the second practice, and that is love. Because when you learn to live in your heart and stay in your heart, there is no fear. There is no fear in the heart. The heart only loves. That's all it does. it loves. And here's where the breathing comes in again, because if you breathe, really aware of your breathing, so you're expanding your chest and your heart. And this is a good thing. This is very good for your health too, to really be aware of your heart area, your chest, and breathe into it with your being aware of your breathing. And remember to live in a place of love for yourself first, of course, and then sharing with others. Because the heart has its own wisdom. This is separate from the mind. The mind's up here, the heart's down here. So when you are connected to your heart and listening to your heart, this is where your wisdom is. And the heart is always very clear on what to do. The heart is your best friend. And it will tell you yes or no in terms of making a decision. And you really want to always check in your heart, with your heart when you're making decisions. And make sure your heart feels right with it. Because if you're only doing from here, then you've got all this fear and judgment and greed and comparison that live up here, remember, interfering with your decision. But when you come here, it's love and courage. Courage lives in the heart. And then there's your creativity. Now, I have a fun fact for you here. Did you know that William Shakespeare wrote two of his greatest plays, King Lear and Macbeth, during the bubonic plague in London? Yes, he did. So, I thought you might enjoy that little fun trivia. So, in terms of creativity, when there's a situation going on the planet as there is right now, and a lot of things are cancelled, so maybe you have more time on your hands, but now is really a good time for your creativity to come forward. How can you creatively manage your life at the moment? Because maybe a lot of things are turned a bit upside down. What creative ideas can you come up with as to all the day-to-day things in your life, or how to make more money in a creative way or in a different way? See, creativity is a huge asset. And for your creativity, you need to be down here, connected to your heart and your inner wisdom. That's where your creative ideas are going to come from that deeper place in you. So, another benefit of coming down from the head and living from your heart. And love, of course, is the most powerful healing energy there is. When you're in a state of love, when you are being loving and kind and caring and compassionate, there's no fear there. There's no fear. So this is a very, very powerful practice to be very loving and kind with yourself and loving and kind with others. If you're having difficulty being loving with yourself, then do something loving and kind for somebody else. And that will help you to come more into feeling your heart. And also it helps with forgetting about all your own problems when you're helping somebody else. Yeah, so maybe there's some neighbors or some people in your community that could use some help, or some old people, or some kids. Yeah, and open your heart up. Now, don't overdo it. Don't get stressed out, helping other people. Always doing everything with balance. But if you listen to your heart, there will be balance. So love heals fear. And then the third practice is the practice of laughter, which I know many of you are familiar with who are familiar with me. So laughter is a very powerful healing energy. And here's another piece of good news. Laughter is a dimension of love. So when you practice laughter, you're including love. So it's kind of like a shortcut in a way. And we all love shortcuts, don't we? Yeah? So if you focus on laughter every day, seeking laughter, you're also bringing love. You're also opening your heart. With love, laughter isn't always there. But with laughter, love is always there as well. See, it's like a double win. So practice laughter. And, you know, there's so many ways you can do this. You can go on YouTube and seek out your favorite comedians, whoever they are. You know, maybe you like Trevor Noah or Steve Martin or Eddie Murphy or Saturday Night Live, whatever it is. Find comedy videos to watch, your favorite comedians. Maybe you have a joke book. Maybe you have a friend that you laugh a lot with. Or going out in nature is very helpful too, especially, or go for a walk with a friend and laugh and enjoy the sky and the trees and the birds. Yes? And do this every day. Make it a consistent practice. And I'm not joking about this laughter. For those of you who don't know me very well, I'm dead serious about laughter because it has very many healing benefits for the physical body. Laughter boosts your immune system because you see, when you're laughing, you expand your chest out again. It's very good for your upper respiratory system, for your chest. Well, it's good for your whole body because you release so many tensions from the body and mind. And it's good for the mind because it calms the mind down and it kind of reins the mind in. You know, it's like, okay, mind, that's enough with all the fear stuff. Let's have some fun and laughter and enjoyment. And you will find that you are developing an incredible capacity to enjoy your life no matter what is going on. No matter what is going on. You will find that you have this inner resource with witnessing the mind, focusing on love, and focusing on laughter. You become so connected to your heart, to the wisdom of your heart, the wisdom of your body, because you're coming into the body when you laugh, and when you're feeling love, you're in the body, and the wisdom of your soul, of course. So then you're living your life from that place of peace and calm and joy and love. And not that everything's going to be perfect, because life just isn't. Life is messy. Yeah, it just is. But when you come into life each day with these practices, with these tools, everything goes much more easily. And you are less at the effect of negative or chaotic circumstances around you. You're like a tree deeply rooted in the earth. And when a hurricane comes along, yes, your tree will bend a bit, might lose a few pieces of fruit, but you'll be right back up again. But a person who is not deeply connected with themselves and a hurricane comes along, then they just fall down. It takes them a long time to get up. Yes? So what you're doing is you're creating a anchor within yourself of inner strength, of inner confidence, of inner wisdom, peace, laughter, joy, love, and creativity. So you'll always be able to find solutions, whatever the circumstances you find yourself in. Because look, they're already testing vaccines for this virus. This coronavirus is going to be over soon. I guarantee it. Because they always do. They always do find vaccines when you think back to other viruses and things like this that have happened before. The scientists have been working round the clock and they always find a solution. So I don't think that it is an issue. I don't want to say it isn't an issue. But the important thing is to really understand about fear and how you can learn to not be so much at the effect of it that it influences your behavior and you make not good decisions from that. Yes? Because once this virus has been healed, and we all carry on, there'll be something else, because there always is. I mean, that's how life is. Yes? Shit happens. So, witness the mind, stay in your heart, stay in love, and laugh a lot every day. And this will help you tremendously to heal the virus of fear, not just for this particular chaotic situation we're in, but going forward for the rest of your life. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please put them in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer them or dialogue with you, whatever it is that we're going to do, and support you in any way I can, because I am here to help, because these practices work. They really do. I used to be ruled by fear, and now I am not. And through this whole chaotic situation that we've had going on recently, I haven't gone into fear at all. Nope. Don't want to go there, not interested in going there. So, I continue with my creativity, with love and laughter and joy and peace. This is a choice. It's a choice. You can allow the fear, or you can do these practices which will not allow the fear to take you over. And you will find your capacity for staying in peace and calm in your life, and for enjoying your life, finding creative solutions. Maybe you can be like Shakespeare and write a great play at the moment, or something that is your creativity. Just see what could happen. All right, my friends, thank you so much. I'm always so honored and grateful to all of you for being here. Some of you are actually here live, which is fantastic. And for those of you who watch the replay, which I know you will, write to me in the comments below. I love to hear from you, and I will be talking to you again very soon. Take care, and I love you all.